Sensibilidad auditiva que activa estados sensoriales. Star Rock, Gritaradio. Gritaradio. Señal binaria en tus oídos.
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Bienvenidos. Continuamos aquí en nuestra cabina, en nuestra torre de Gritaradio, en donde se encuentran ubicados nuestros estudios el día de hoy, aquí en Insurgentes, muy emocionados. No hemos dejado de pasar invitado tras invitado. Ya tuvimos un poco de rap por la mañana, ya tuvimos un poco de popcito también con nuestra amiga Alessandra. Luego estuvimos platicando con Carlos San también desde España. Y luego también tuvimos a... ¿Quién más tuvimos, Alondra?
Ay, yo no estaba.
No estaba,
No
pero bueno, hemos
recuerdo.
tenido muchos invitados y la
Sí,
verdad es
ya
que bueno,
llevan varios.
no podemos cerrar la noche con un gran invitado, recién llegadito desde Alemania, llegó el avión un poco tarde, tuvieron problemas, pero vio unas cuantas películas también y bueno, eso la verdad es que también lo hizo que se relajara con nosotros y bueno, pues obviamente Alondra, ¿nos puedes dar una introducción por favor para que también pues pueda platicar con nosotros?
Bueno, aquí tenemos a Darren, él es de la banda Psyche, una de las bandas, bueno, yo creo que es la banda más importante de la escena de New Wave y Synth Pop de Canadá, pero ya lleva varios años viviendo en Alemania y hoy está aquí para platicarnos un poco de su música y su show este sábado en el Foro Bizarro.
Exactamente, y vamos a dar la bienvenida. ¡Welcome! Aplausos, por favor. Ahora sí, mira, tenemos público que está dando los aplausos. Ahora sí, Alondra, por favor, platica con él.
Hi, how do you feel being back here after 10 years?
Quite good, actually. I'm sad it took so long, but I'm happy that we're here.
Yeah, you also did your live album in Mexico in 2008, I think.
Mhm.
So, how do you feel? What are your expectations 16 years after for this show this weekend?
I think we make a even more exciting show now, and so I'm looking forward to presenting some of our newer ideas and also some old songs that we didn't get to play last time.
Yeah, of course. So I also see you're wearing your Goodbye Horses
Yes,
t-shirt.
why not?
Yeah, it's a good
And of
t-shirt.
course,
Yeah.
You're customers.
yeah.
Look,
We are matching.
her making, and
Yeah.
my making.
Yes.
The girls put me in the wall and put me that.
I'm considering a special Day of the Dead face
Oh,
myself
really?
for,
We
for
have
Saturday.
one. Do you want? We
Yeah,
have a
we can
one.
give you
For the
one.
concert. For the concert.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
It
so.
will
You are
fit
right
so
now.
well. So yes, you covered that iconic song.
Yes.
What that made you want to cover that specific song?
Well, we did actually for a long time. We didn't do any covers, and then the first time we decided to do one, actually the first time we did a cover officially was a Soft Cell song called "Sex Dwarf." Good start. And "Goodbye Horses" came in the '90s, just after the Silence of the Lambs film. At the time, we weren't sure what kind of atmosphere or reason to do it, but I liked the way it sounded in the movie, and
Yeah, that is like
yeah.
such an iconic scene. I think
Yeah,
it's one of
yeah,
the best
yeah.
scenes in movies ever.
Yeah, so and the sound of it sounded a little bit like it could be our song. So
Yeah.
we thought a few years later we decided to try it, and the rest is actually history. It just became something phenomenal that has been with us now for the last 30 years.
Yeah, it's also become an iconic song of yours. And
Yeah.
I think it's also the most played song on Spotify.
Yes, it's because before the internet, it was the only way to hear the song was our version because we
Yeah.
played it live, and you
Oh.
couldn't even find the original other than watching the movie. So
Mm.
that was helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you also have this album of covers of bands like The Cure and Depeche
Yeah,
Mode.
yeah.
What can you tell us about that? Like, what was the most fun song to make and the most difficult one?
Oh, well, I really liked doing the song called Just One Kiss from The Cure. It was a B-side of Let's Go to Bed. Always loved that. And we actually did some of those because of the, the Corona COVID lockdown. So we, you know, that's what people do is you get bored and you think, what can I do that instead
Yeah.
of writing new stuff, I mean, just let's do our favorites. So that was one of the reasons. But the earlier ones that you're talking about, I think I did Charlotte Sometimes. I did Lie to Me from Depeche Mode. Um, and I don't know, just things that I thought fit with our style or our sound, and bands that inspired us that we just wanted to tribute.
Yeah, of such iconic bands of the
Yeah,
new wave and synth pop scenes.
yeah.
Do you have any favorite bands, like modern bands that
Modern
fit
bands.
that scene?
I'm still more of an '80s guy.
uh,
I'm still like
you stick with
following
the
my
classics.
favorites, like even the ones that are still going, like Blondie,
Mm,
and of course The Cure has been with us
yeah.
forever. So I'm really happy about that. It's nice. There's some new groups that we've actually played with too. She passed away. I know
Mm,
they've been here, and we played with other synth bands. Basically, the colleagues that we grew up with, I would say, would
yeah.
still be my favorites. Yeah.
So speaking of the classics, the name of Psyche comes from the song by Killing Joke, Burden.
Yeah.
Why did you pick that specific name in that specific song, that specific band?
Well, it wasn't really a lot of the music on the B side of War Dance was. It just sounded like something that we thought might represent how we feel that we could be, and I really like the word.
Uh,
And when it's embarrassing, but I looked at it in the dictionary and it said the intelligence, the mind, and the soul, and I was
uh,
like, good definition. Okay, that's what we're gonna do for our whole entire career is try to represent that. Yeah, that's really why I chose it.
uh,
Yeah,
it's a great reason, I think.
yeah.
So, also in your first shows, like back in the 80s, you used to perform nude on stage. What was
A little
the
bit.
like only covering shaving cream?
How did you know that? I
I think I looked it.
I was actually it was inspired by Fad Gadget in
Mm,
the '80s. I read that he went on stage with like a ton of shaving
mm.
cream, and so I tried that. But then I found out later it was whipped cream because shaving cream actually melts, and so that's why
Uh,
how I ended up nude
okay.
because it was slowly melting while I was on
So it's
stage.
actually whipping cream.
It was no, I was using shaving cream and he was using whipping cream,
Yeah.
so I got it wrong. Yeah.
And did the audience like that? What was like
Oh,
the
I'm sure they
response?
liked it. One time I slipped across the whole entire stage. The only problem was that like once you're dressed like that, there's nothing else you can do. So I kind of like having different stage clothes. So my next thing was always having at least 5 different T-shirts to show off. I always like to have different things to present. So I became a T-shirt collector. That was my
Uh,
next thing.
so you went from nude and whipping
To a
cream
lot of
to,
T-shirts.
to t-shirt.
Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite show from back then or
A favorite show of ours?
yeah?
Oh boy, quite a few. I mean, I guess the one that where I slid across the stage was quite fun. That was in Canada, and then the big one for us was when we debuted in Paris.
Oh,
We were actually the opening act for the first synth duo, Suicide.
mm,
We actually were our label had organized for us to open for them, and we actually didn't realize who they were at the time, unfortunately, and we were like, we're gonna go on stage and we're gonna make everyone forget about suicide. So like, but they were like really legends, and it was in front of two
yeah.
thousand people in
Mm.
Elysia Montmartre in Paris. So I've never forgotten that show. That was really amazing. Yeah,
So that's one that really stuck with you.
yeah, yeah.
And you speak of this show in Paris. You also uh, you then relocated to Germany, and you have I think the place where you have toured the most is Europe.
Yes.
Did you find some differences between the European crowds to the Mexican crowds? And you also were on tour in South America last year, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What difference can you find between these two audiences? Are
Oh
they
boy.
different?
Well, I mean, we did actually start in playing in Paris and in Belgium. Germany, of course, was much more euphoric. But to be honest, the first place where I felt like almost bigger than we were was Poland, because we were one of the first bands to ever play, like in the early 90s. And the Mexico is really important to me. I can't explain why. It just always was something I had to do, and it was before South America, so that's when we recorded the live album, because I thought, well, I didn't plan it, but it was a perfect sound, and we were so happy to be here first time, so that was why I recorded that, and the audience was incredible, and it was like just the reaction to all of the songs, actually, what we chose to play. I was actually quite surprised, and South America was we played in Brazil for the very first time in 2019. That was pretty exciting, but I have to admit that this mini tour of South America was a big deal for me too, because it was Colombia, Chile,
Mhm.
and Peru, and all of them were great. Actually, Colombia was close to the Mexican experience, where it was a bit of a smaller stage, and the people were very close to us, and there was people with records and everything. And I also didn't expect, I didn't know that our music had gotten that far, and that
Sí,
people had my old 80s vinyl.
yeah.
So to actually talk to people and see that my old records in their hands was really exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're on the other side of the world, and to see
Yeah.
someone from
Yeah.
the other side to
Yeah.
have your record, that
Yeah.
that must be crazy.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite country to perform in?
Oh, that's not really fair.
Top three.
Oh, okay, top three.
Mexico. All
Well,
right.
Mexico is
All
gonna have
right,
to be number one.
Mexico.
And actually, oh, so I'm gonna have to. That's kind of mean, because I live in Germany, but I would say that Mexico and Poland are my top two. A third one, we'll just leave that open for for the future. We'll see if there's maybe something that I haven't missed, that I've missed out on. So I don't know yet.
So, why did you pick Germany to stay in? What was it that you said, I want to live here instead of Canada?
We wanted to leave Canada for quite a while, because when we first started, our music wasn't really that popular, you know. I mean, electronic music was not really
Mm,
such a big thing.
yeah.
Just in some areas like Montreal, and it's the French part of Canada, so that kind of brought us to Paris, which was good.
Mm,
And we found out that our records are selling better in Germany than everywhere else. And I mean, Germany, obviously, it started the whole electronic music thing,
yeah.
as far as we're concerned. And also the goth scene is quite good
Mm,
there. And so after a while, we signed to a German label, and I thought it would be best to hang around where the label is. So
yeah.
that's was the reason why I first went there.
Is there another place that you would like to live in, maybe in the future?
Ooh, well, here's Mexico, and
Yeah, you can live here.
yeah,
Mexico
and
inspire you, or Germany inspire more, or which country inspire you to make music?
oh, I think you can do that anywhere. I really do love also Paris. So it's a toss up. It's hard to decide between Mexico City and Paris. So we'll just somewhere in between. Have to go back and forth. Yeah. But you can make music anywhere. Uh Germany, my inspiration comes from all over. Actually, the South America thing was really a highlight. So anytime I'm over here, um, it just makes me feel more alive.
The Latin music
Yeah,
inspire you
yeah.
because they have a move the body all the time.
I actually I know some people don't like mariachi, but I do actually like it. And there's actually this is an advertisement for somebody, but there's a group or an artist called El Mariachi, and
Mm-hmm.
he actually does a cover version of Goodbye Horses.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So I have them
Yeah.
all compiled on my YouTube channel. It's called All the Goodbye Horses, and you can hear all
Oh.
40 versions that have come out
Oh.
since ours. So check out El Mariachi's version of Goodbye
Okay.
Horses. Someday I'll cover his version. But yeah, no, I like the whole the Latin. For me, it's all about feeling alive. I don't know. I mean, not to say that like in Europe it's a bit, but it's a little laid back, held back, and the
Yeah.
enthusiasm and excitement
It's
of
more cold, right?
yeah, yeah.
In Germany, it's more cold.
Yeah, cold wave, and here, here it's hot wave.
Yeah, in Mexico
with a
you
side
have
of salsa.
Okay.
No, but I like that. It's very lively. I know. I mean, we're a goth band, and it should be doom and gloom and stuff. But you can dance to sad songs with a little bit of enthusiasm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually international bands mostly they always say Mexico is like such an eager and insane crowd. Like,
It is. The people are really enthusiastic. I like that because that is full of life. And the
yeah,
whole thing about the Day of the Dead, which I liked, was the this feeling that you are in touch with your loved ones, whether they're here or not. You know what I mean? Like this whole it's still all about life.
yeah,
And that's what I like, this excitement. I don't know. I can't explain the enthusiasm, but it's just I'm just glad it's there.
yeah. It's like such a beautiful holiday. I think it's a lot of Mexicans' favorite holiday
Yeah.
because a lot of people, or most people, I think, believe that your loved ones come back to visit you on this specific day.
Yeah.
So it's like a way to connect with them
It
in
means
the
a lot to me as
afterlife.
well. I've recently lost my father, and my parents were with me in Mexico 10 years ago, and
Mm.
we went all around. We went to the museums. We went to the Aztec Museum. Was a really big deal because I really liked the fact that there was belief systems way before what the standards have become, and I find them more creative, to be honest, when you go to that museum and see all of the possibilities of the different nature gods and all the different things that people believed in, or even created, the imagery. It's there's a wider range than just the classic
Mhm.
Christian whatever. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really feel more connected to this, like, period of life that was way before what we're used to. I
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
Mhm.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the music and the Mexican music, it's inspire you to take some shorts to make your music, or Colombian music, or around the world. Which one do you prefer to make
Ooh.
a songs? Because you when you make your music, you feel the soul about the people
You're
when.
right. You know what? I think that explains the whole Latin thing. It's this incredible passion.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of things have to do with, like, feelings of the heart. There's the romantic aspect of it, and I think that is a really big difference to the whole European culture. The European culture, there's a lot of, it's all about the head, and here it's more about the heart.
Mhm.
So that's probably the reason why that inspired me so much. And now I finally realize it's
Yeah.
really like, yeah, it's that emotional part where the people are just experiencing and expressing, and not always in their head about
Mhm.
like, it has to be this way, and you know what I mean, like, it's like it's the passion.
Yeah.
So
Which one, groups are you inspired about? Talked about the Cure, or
yeah.
but time ago, Kraftwerk maybe,
Oh yeah.
because it's
No, I
from
know
Germany.
I can say the whole list, but yeah. I mean, okay, Gary Newman, The Cure, Kraftwerk.
Yeah.
We were more into the goth things, Joy Division, Bauhaus, that
Mm,
kind of thing,
mm, mm,
and
mm.
then the electronic side was then a little bit later, actually. When Soft Cell came out, that was a big deal for me because that was kind of, that's another example of the more soulful side of synth
Mm,
pop.
mm,
I mean, Mark Almond and his expression in their songs are more in that area rather than the cold efficiency of Kraftwerk.
mm, mm.
Is a different feeling. It's a different kind of concept. So I was more into the stuff where the people sing passionately, and
Yeah,
Eurythmics, Annie
yeah,
Lennox's
Yeah.
it's
voice,
great. Yeah,
Alison Moyet's voice. This where it's really power and experience, and Kraftwerk for the music and the sounds.
yeah, and the music has
Yeah,
changed,
yeah,
like the Daft Punk.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a big different about to the Kraftwerk to the Daft
Yeah,
Punk.
Daft Punk is not bad though too, because that is has the sort of Teutonic sound of the machinery, but also with a little bit more of emotion,
Mm-hmm.
especially the Discovery album with well, and of course later with Get Lucky and all that stuff. But like, I mean, there was a definitely a soulful side, even to the instrumental sounding stuff. It had a little bit more passion and groove ability, and Kraftwerk is a little more machine like and stuff. Although, to be honest, the singing does have that emotional side as well.
Mhm.
I mean, even when they're singing Computer World, it sounds kind of sad.
Do you like to make music with the computers, with the original instruments? How do you make your music to complain
Yeah.
everything? Do
Well,
you like the analogic
yeah.
or digital make music?
More analog. We started out with, to be honest, I hadn't said this before in interviews, but my brother, this is funny, but the first time we saw Star Wars
I'm so
and
fan of Star Wars.
that
That
was the
boxes
first.
in that it's only toys at
Yeah,
Star Wars.
yeah, but also in the first movie, the sound of the robots. I know this
Mm-mm,
sounds funny, but R2D2, the little sounds that
mm-mm,
they sounded emotional, and we understood how he felt,
mm-mm.
or it, and but these,
Sí,
my
sí.
brother was like, I want to make sounds like that, and so that's where the
Yeah.
synthesizer, and then because we couldn't find a reliable drummer, and then you have a
Mm,
drum machine, and then
mm.
away we went, and then as soon as we had heard pop songs like Tainted Love from Soft Cell, and we thought, wow, with two people you can have a hit. So
Great.
that's why, but we loved the sound of synthesizers, and of course the really old ones that make weird sounds like R2D2. Yeah.
Yeah.
So not only music is fire, but also movies like Star Wars.
Oh, movies. It was basically horror films in the early days. All the old Italo, Dario Argento films, and because the atmosphere and we like the colors. I like the
Yeah,
supernatural stuff.
in
Mm.
Suspiria, like the colors are
Yeah. Oh,
such
yeah.
a big part of the
The
movie.
music from Goblin,
Yeah,
and of course John Carpenter.
of course.
The
Mm.
fact that his atmosphere and also using electronic music to create the whole entire soundtrack, that's also a first time, and that was my brother was like, I have to make sequences and love to play your own bass lines, and amazing. So that was actually how we started, is trying to do this sound.
So that's also how you got to the Silence of the Lambs.
That was yeah, that was much later in life though. I mean, it was already happening in the 80s for us, but The Silence of the Lambs was I was confused about whether or not you could call it a straight out horror film. It's kind
Yeah,
of a
it's like a thriller.
psychological,
Yeah,
yeah, psychological horror, which but the style of the close-ups of the faces and that part is again the head, and then the feeling as well, the creepiness.
yeah.
And so that's a good thing that we did decide to do Goodbye Horses, because it sort of covers this whole atmosphere, this tense fear of not knowing exactly what is causing
Yeah,
it.
like
Yeah.
the uncertainty of
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I think your version of Goodbye
Mm.
Horses, I think maybe would fit a little better into the movie because it's darker than
Well,
the
thanks.
actual version.
If they ever make a remake.
Yeah, they could definitely use yours.
Yeah.
So when you arrived, I sort of overheard you talking about your T-shirt of Caifanes, I think.
Oh
Was
yeah. Oh, I'm a little embarrassed. I heard a couple songs of theirs after I bought the shirt. I bought the shirt
uh,
because it had this sort of parody of the Ramones with the
yeah.
circle, and
Mm.
I love the sort of serpent design in the middle, and then I saw
Mhm.
their names, and I hadn't heard of them yet, and I just thought, oh, this is really cool. I'm sure that it's a Mexican band, so I have to have this shirt. And then we were in Los Angeles, and then we were at a festival, and a girl came up to me and said, "Oh, nice shirt, good band." And I was like, "Are they?" Well, now I know. They're pretty big.
Yeah, they are a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
band.
yeah.
Like I think they're Mexico's biggest band.
I have a lot of respect for anyone who started from the 80s and is still going. So obviously, I feel a brotherly
Yeah.
compassion for that. Yeah.
No.
You know, Caifanes is the same like the Cure.
Huh?
They start with
Yeah.
Also
the
very
influence
early.
about the Cure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you look the pictures when he was young,
Oh yes,
oh,
they have
they
very
have
nice
a
hair.
yeah,
Yeah,
they make
yeah.
hair.
Also, their
Yeah.
first album sounds a lot like The Cure.
I
Later
Mhm.
on,
watched
they found like their sound, but the
that
first
one
album
hit,
sounds.
the it's sort of a reggae song. I really like that a lot. I forgot the name right now, but
Mm.
it was their first single. but it looked really gothic in it.
Viento?
I forgot the name.
Maybe
It sounds a bit reggae, actually, or ska, I guess you could say.
Mexican band?
Them.
Caifanes.
Ah,
Yeah,
Caifanes.
Yeah.
Mm,
La
yeah.
Negra
early
Tomasa.
80s hit.
La Negra Tomasa is like the salsa, maybe.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, I
start,
think it's-
Yeah.
when they start to make a popular, they
Yeah.
play in a TV show, but only
Oh.
have to use like that songs. He
Right, yeah. Yeah.
he can stay in TV with the
Oh.
dark sounds or
Yeah,
the,
okay, I
it's
understand.
difficult to the
Yeah.
Mexican audience
Yeah.
in that time.
They were
right?
also a little bit punk, though. They had their own
Yeah,
special
yeah.
independent edge. Yeah. So
Yeah,
well,
but-
anyway, so
but with the
good for you
time-
guys.
yeah, with the time
Yeah.
the music is changed and the
Yeah.
people like that, and
Yeah.
they learn to the Cure,
Yeah.
and they make the similar like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Caifanes.
Yeah. And we're all still going.
Yeah.
Caifanes.
Aren't
They're
they?
playing.
They're still
Yeah,
going.
they very recently
Yeah.
played a song
in
at
the big-
Foro Sol. Well, now it's Estadio GNP.
Okay.
And it's Mexico's largest venue. It's for 65,000 people.
Well, good.
And it was a complete sold out.
That's amazing. I don't
Yeah.
think that we're ever going to get that far, but at least we're still going.
Yeah. So let's talk about to the
That's
to the
awesome.
show.
Yeah.
When do you play?
On Saturday, I'm not quite sure when we start, but I think around 11. Like it's fairly late. We have a opening. Lucifer Christ is a very
Mhm.
interesting name for a band,
Yeah.
and some DJs that are quite well known, and some of them will be after our concert as well, so that people can dance until 3 or longer, and so we'll probably start around 11, and we don't really set a time of like a limit.
Do you have time, no, or you're no limit?
We don't like to set a limit, so it
You
depends
can
on the
you can
audience.
finish at say 6 a.m.,
well,
7 a.m.
Well, we can do anywhere between 70 minutes and 2 hours if necessary. It depends on if the people really want to hear that many songs. But
Yeah.
because it's taken so long for us to come back, I think it's going to be a fairly long show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and your set list? Do you have your
I don't.
set list design?
My keyboarder is standing in the background.
He's over there.
Yes, he
can,
does. He doesn't like this, but I'm constantly changing my mind. So I have a set list, but I don't stick with it all the time.
Did you
And
like
then
improv?
I like to improvise, and I like to take requests or see what happens towards the end. Like did we miss that song, or is there anything else you want us? And usually then it's another 5 or 6 songs at the end. So if we haven't played them yet, and this time we even had special requests from the audience.
Mhm.
So we have the 5 songs for sure that everyone said they want to hear,
Mhm.
and then we'll see about the rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is your only show in Mexico, or you have another
No,
show?
sadly, it's our only show. So come and see us
Oh,
now.
yeah. Tenemos que invitar a toda la gente. Es el único show que
Única
va a estar,
oportunidad.
¿no? Esta es la única oportunidad para que vengan. Así es que creo que tenemos boletos. We have tickets to give to the
good.
old audience.
Ah,
But to give the tickets, we need to make a question
a
to the
special question. Yeah.
yeah, and you need to help us to make a good question. So
not
fans,
too
a
difficult?
very 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 fans for you, right? Tell
Mm.
us we which one question we can do to the old audience. Only
Okay.
for fans, really, eh?
Okay, only for as a real fans, I would say not too difficult. Well, you can look at everything up on the internet these days, so it's going to be hard. But anyway, we'll just say, what was the title of the last Psyche album? We've only made a certain number of albums, which I won't say, and the last album was released in 2005. So if anyone likes to name that, whoever comes first gets the tickets, I guess.
Okay, perfecto.
Or is
Muy
that
bien.
not? Should it be harder than that?
I think so. There is fan.
Yeah?
Maybe know the answers.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Ok, tenemos boletos. Acaba de decir la pregunta. Dile la pregunta, por favor, que acaba de ser.
Tu pregunta es, ¿cuál fue el último álbum de Psyche? Y les dio una pista que salió en el 2005. Entonces está fácil.
Está muy fácil, la verdad es que para
Sí.
los fans, la verdad es que está muy fácil, así es que, bueno, pues estaremos pendientes justamente de todo lo que estemos, y bueno, pues tienes que ponerte el micrófono de frente porque si no, la productora no te escucha bastante bien.
Listo.
So, what's your plans for the finish to the 2024?
Actually, this is quite special because we came directly to Mexico for the show, and then we will do one show in Toronto, Canada, when we're stopping
First
in
going to
Canada.
Cancun, take a
No, 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 no,
sun,
no, no, no.
take a
We just
beach,
no, we don't do
two
we don't
margaritas.
do that kind of thing. We just play. It's very rare that I will do a vacation without it actually at least adding a show. So no, we'll do Toronto, and then we have a one-off, one-time only show in Houston, Texas. And
Mm.
it's a festival with actually with Front 242, Nitzer Ebb,
Oh,
and so it's
really?
a big
You have a free
electro
ticket. You can
fest.
see all of
Yeah,
those
it's gonna be
bands.
fun.
Yeah.
And we've actually played with Front 242 and Nitzareb before. Maybe about 10 years ago, we did a festival with Front 242, and we even did a small tour together with
Which
Nitzareb.
one? The name of the festival? You
That
don't.
was in Paris, and at the moment I can't remember the name of it, but it was 2008, so it was a
But
long
we
time
can
ago.
see
Yeah, that one.
in your
Oh, the name
social.
of the Houston, Texas
Mm,
festival is called Electronic Beats Festival.
okay.
And it's got even a few other sort of like from the Belgian new beat scene.
Mm.
Kind of some of those people are coming. I forgot the names of everybody. I'm sorry.
No problem.
And but so yeah,
You can find Google.
yeah,
Yeah.
everyone can just look on our website and you'll find it. It's on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, so that's the last. That's the end of 2024. Actually,
Okay,
fairly early
and
this year.
start 2025.
2025, we're back in Germany and we've got a show there, and we actually are gonna play a festival in Finland in May.
Mm.
And I'm trying to think what else was in between there, but
You-
whatever comes.
So you like travel all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because you are a
I
tourist
don't.
in a lot
Well, I
around the
don't.
world.
We don't tour. We experience, and so when people, we don't like go in a nightliner and spend like 20 days. Like we
Mm-mm.
just we like to show up at special events.
You have to
So
make a
yeah,
blog about to the eat because you are
yeah,
around the world all the time. You have
yeah.
to eat all in
Well, yeah.
near
That's
to the places.
yes.
You
Yeah.
have to tell us about to the eat.
What we eat when we're on tour.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
you have
a travel guide.
uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Maybe you mean like a tour cookbook, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly.
You are in Mexico. You
How to
recommend
survive it.
where eat. You
Yeah,
are in Texas, the same.
yeah, that's true. Well, I'll think about that. Yeah, yeah, or even how to
And make music.
get
You
around.
have eat tacos.
Eat
No.
tacos. No matter where you are, you should eat tacos.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, and you have a lot of work, and you are
Yeah.
funny all time with when you are play
Yeah.
In the shows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. Performing the songs that I've written and having to share that with people. That uh, it's like every show is built from the audience with the performer together. It's not like you just come on stage and say, "I'm going to show you what I've got."
Mhm.
It's kind of like together. So for me, it's a conversation. It's like I've made these songs and we experience um what I have to say with the songs, like together with the people, and then they celebrate it.
Mhm.
And
It's the
that
principal, right?
yeah, and
No.
I'm just amazed that like there's that it's 40 years, and I feel younger when I'm doing my older songs too, so it's a nice exchange that you can go on stage and do songs you wrote when you're 21
Mm.
and not feel like an old man.
Do you think in any time you are a doctor?
A doctor?
Yeah, you are a doctor.
Why?
You know why?
You mean like psychiatrist or something?
No, no. I think so. You are a heart doctor because
Oh,
with your music, the people feel like, and when everybody is sad or they have
Yeah.
a lot of fields. When when you are listening your music, when you are playing alive, you
Mm.
are a doctor with corazón abierto,
Open heart.
open heart. Yeah, and people every time is open heart, and when the show is closed, you are closes the heart, and they're going happy.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's very nice. I would like to think that it is like that.
Yeah, you're a
At
doctor.
least I feel that way when I'm writing my songs too, because I don't want to do music that I wouldn't want to perform. I mean, what's the point of like actually making an album if you don't think you can stand on stage and do it? That I wouldn't actually. I do other kind of music that you don't have to perform, but I mean, I'm writing something that is a human experience, and I am sharing that. And so you're right,
Yeah,
but I hope that that is
yeah.
the case. That's
You're
nice.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are a great doctor. Thank you. Thank you for making music. Thank you
Oh,
for staying with us. Y bueno, pues tenemos que despedirnos ahora sí. We have to go
okay.
right now. We are going to the tacos and make music. What do you feel? And do you like drinks?
I like drinks. That's a
Maybe
very
some
interesting
mezcal, or
question.
maybe some tequila, or maybe a
I'm
beer.
yeah, I'm more of a just beer or wine. Occasionally a cocktail like a mojito.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's nice.
Because
But
okay,
yeah, you know, that's a part of celebrating as well, of course.
Of course.
And yeah.
Frida say invite me to the tacos and drink. She say, okay, where's the
Oh,
party today?
yeah, anytime, definitely. Yeah, I would, and and also, yeah, that's you're right. That would be a good thing.
In the first floor there is a restaurant. They play salsa and everything. There is so a beautiful eat and food and great music.
We
We can
can
start there.
we will hire a mariachi band and play Goodbye Horses for us.
Ok, we can start that. Ok, perfecto. Bueno, pues ya lo saben, se va a estar presentando el próximo sábado, ¿no?
26.
Sábado 26, exacto. El sábado 26 hay bastantes actividades. Digo, para la gente que no le gusta la Fórmula 1, no se lo pierdan. Va a haber un gran show, obviamente no se lo pierdan. Did you like the F1?
Formula.
Yeah.
Fórmula 1? Do you know the Fórmula 1?
I can't even drive a car.
No, you don't
No.
have drive.
I have no driver's license, so
you use old time Uber. Oh, you have
I'm
your
not
driver
good.
right there. I
Yeah.
saw you are your
Yeah, my
driver.
keyboarder and driver. And so I'm sorry to say
It's difficult to drive in Mexico.
Yeah, I'm not really
Yeah.
I'm not really into sports all that much. You know, this is funny, but I will tell you the one sport that I think is a cool sport is breakdance. If I could do
Yeah,
that,
right.
that would be awesome. I like to watch that though, and I was really thrilled that they had that in the Paris Olympics this year. So that was my favorite sport.
Okay.
Was watching breakdancers.
Yeah, but take
yeah.
off, no? This year take off.
It
There's
was
no
the
dance,
first
no
and
break
only
dance
time.
to the next.
Not in Los Angeles. It was the only time in Paris. So
Yeah.
so good on the French for having
Yeah.
that.
Ok, practiquemos breakdance, ¿no? Eso es importante. Y bueno, pues no, como no les gusta la Fórmula 1, él no le gustan los deportes, mejor vamos a un concierto, justamente, ¿no?
Mejor.
Explícaselo.
Sí, entonces los vemos este sábado en el Foro Bizarro. Él va a tocar a partir de las 11 de la noche, más o menos, porque va a haber otras bandas como Lucifer Christ y otros DJs que van a abrir el show. No se lo pueden perder.
Exactamente. So we are going to listen one song of your music,
Okay.
but we are make a time machine. We are
Okay.
open this hard drive. We are open in 10,000 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
10,000
Oh.
years. It's
10,000 years.
like a time capsule.
Yeah.
What song will you
and we
like to
need-
make that
we-
make it into this capsule?
Yeah, we need
Just
that-
one.
just one
Yeah.
because
One of your songs.
that generation it's open and represent your music with that song.
Yeah.
That's so hard.
Yeah, I
I would
know.
normally
It's difficult to us to select.
Yeah, I would
Maybe
normally
I
say-
prefer your.
Oh boy. I would normally say our song Unveiling the Secret, but I think if it's going to be something that is like for all time, then I would probably choose The Saint Became a Lush.
Ok, vamos a guardar esa canción justamente, se va al disco duro y la abriremos justamente en 100 años. Así es que, bueno, pues we have that song and we
Okay.
like give a song all time. So to all audience.
Okay.
So today we are the first gift to make give and give and give day
Mhm.
and day and day and day and day, right?
Okay.
Which song do you give us to the all audience to start
To start our
Yeah, as a
our
gift.
day.
for
No.
today? Today,
Yeah, like a gift.
Oh.
a gift.
What song will you
The
give
gift for
as a
today.
gift?
Oh. Now it's even more difficult.
Yeah, I know. It's difficult to
Um,
us select one of you, but
Okay,
you have to
well,
do.
we have this really sort of precious slow song. It's on the album called The Influence. It's called the song is called The Sundial.
Mhm.
I think it's a very nice opening.
Ok, para empezar como la tarde, ya oscureció, ¿no? Y ir calentando motores justamente, así es que nos acaba de dar justamente esta canción. Vámonos justamente con esto. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you have to tell us something?
I would love to say something fantastic in Spanish, but I never like trust myself to do that. So I can just say, "Come to the show," and if things go well, that we will not definitely not take 10 years to come back to Mexico. I promise.
We hope so.
Perfecto, esperemos que no pase tanto tiempo, exactamente. Thank you so much. Let's going to listen that song and nos despedimos. Muchas gracias, gracias a toda la gente que estuvo escuchándonos el día y viéndonos el día de hoy también. Gracias a Alondra, gracias a Frida que estuvo en la producción, gracias a Roberto que también estuvo en la coordinación y producción de fotografía, que ya hemos estado tomando fotos. Gracias a Alondra que va a estar haciendo la edición. Alondra, she's no, edition video and they make
All
this
the
video
content.
for tomorrow probably.
Oh, okay.
And today she record
Okay.
today
Yeah.
and repeat this interview you y lo pueden ver en el website and we can see you in the website too.
Okay.
On the
Gritaradio.
YouTube
Yeah.
channel.
Thank you.
Okay,
That's-
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Vamos a escuchar justamente esta canción. Continuamos aquí a través de la señal de Grita Radio.